We want to process data at the edge to get resiliency, efficiency benefits, faster decision-making, all in the name of improving customer experience or sustaining our revenue, particularly in scenarios where the systems that are processing things are actually driving revenue in retail scenarios. So having the system stay online, able to process data, even when you're disconnected, is super important. And so an edge device in any of these scenarios could be IoT devices like sensors, typically smartphones, industrial controllers, point of sale devices, or even your smart TV. We would all define it as an edge device. So this is where edge native application development comes in. This is not about not cloud. This is about optimizing for deployment at the edge. And what do we mean by that? We mean applications that are designed to run on edge devices without the need for cloud intervention. Cloud's probably going to be in the mix, but it's not the sort of central archetype that we're building around. We want to design systems with decentralized environments, limited or no cloud connectivity. And this contrasts from cloud native by emphasizing the resilience aspects over the elastic scaling. And we get the following benefits. We get built-in resilience. We get decentralization, which removes single points of failure. And we can drive consistent revenue. So we're not constrained by worrying about bandwidth or connectivity. So no more do we need to think, oh, I need more wireless access points. I need to pay for more bandwidth. We design applications that are tolerant of resource constrained environments. Ditto really is about supporting edge computing with resilient connectivity. So processing data at the edge, Ditto enables that data to be shared in real time without reliance on Wi-Fi servers or cloud. And this is really important. We give you a framework that makes it easier to build applications that can synchronize and transport and store data without being reliant on Wi-Fi servers or cloud. And if we look at the kind of edge requirements evolving, we talked about the emerging need for kind of peer-to-peer data sharing. At the moment, unidirectional or bidirectional edge to cloud solutions exist. And this is the typical existing need. And Ditto can do that as well as other vendors. But the emerging need is to be able to share data, results, process data, coordinate data across commodity devices at the edge. And this is peer-to-peer at the edge. And this is what Ditto enables and is foundational to our technology. So the origins, founded in 2018 by Adam Fish, who was ex-Realm, a similar product, but that didn't have the peer-to-peer capability, which was identified as differentiated and valuable for the next generation of edge systems. And we want to revolutionize the way edge systems are built. What's the core product? It's a mobile database with built-in connectivity. It can form a peer-to-peer mesh automatically. It makes it very easy to define where do I want to store data, where do I want that data to go, without you having to worry about the underlying network complexity. Traditional systems, if a router fails, if an on-site server fails, you will fail to connect to the cloud and your application is likely to be unable to process data. The key takeaway from the picture on the right is the fact that the devices, the nodes in this graph, can speak directly to each other as well as via the traditional routes. You can have an edge server. You can also have that edge server able to talk directly to the devices in the store over Wi-Fi Direct, over Apple Wireless Device Sync, over Bluetooth Low Energy, rather than relying on proprietary or fancy hardware. So you get peer-to-peer redundancy, software-driven mesh networking, and an offline-first mobile database. And what that does is abstract the complexity of the connections, removes the fragility of the architecture, removes having multiple points of failure. And this is a pioneering edge-native system, transforms how businesses can connect, sync, and operate at the edge. And this replaces the hardware dependencies with resilient software-driven networking. So you can build truly resilient systems that thrive at the edge without relying on Wi-Fi servers or the cloud. The cruise lines, tons of equipment in a rack-mounted server in a room on the ship. Well, networking of that data on board is actually quite limited, and it's expensive both at the port and on the ship. So using peer-to-peer technologies, using typical mobile devices, Ditto helps with faster check-in at the ramp, and it helps with more reliable service procedures. If you've ever been on a cruise, you'll know they have to do muster drills. And one of the most important things is how quickly when you muster, can the captain, can the safety officers know everyone is accounted for. With Ditto, every device does a check-in at a given station, syncs with the other devices, and everyone can see in real time how that process is continuing. In manufacturing, there's tons of interference in manufacturing environments, factories. They struggle for bandwidth very typically. They tend not to be in well-connected areas. And even with a huge investment in hardware and Wi-Fi access points, we know from speaking with our customers, there are gaps where devices can't connect. So with Ditto, we can enable uninterrupted operations, device-to-device synchronization, data shared as quickly as possible. Chick-fil-A care deeply about customer experience. They want their guests to have a very dependable experience, always get their food as quickly as possible. They want to be able to, drive a mobile kitchen to a disaster area, to an event, and to be able to serve food and to have the same experience for their customers there as a bricks and mortar location. They built an edge native point of sale system with Ditto. It operates independently of an internet connection. They get resilience to outages. They get enhanced speed. They can do queue busting. And it gives that reliable end user experience every restaurant, regardless of if it's bricks and mortar or if it's a pop-up. We're very proud to have them as a customer. And Ditto underpins the whole order flow. A core capability of Ditto and why Chick-fil-A use us is if they're offline, they can keep operating their whole fulfillment process.